I really don't know what to do. It's a struggle, but I think that kind of struggle is what makes you understand what's important, and it's not pleasant in the moment, but I don't know, I just feel like all of this is kind of bullshit. Like, I'm trying to act like I know what I'm doing, but really I'm on the other side of the world trying to do what I feel like is good for my life and is gonna improve my life and get me to the like next phase of my life. But it's not working out the way I wanted it to, and it's not so simple. And there's a lot of beautiful things about this place, but it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be to live on the other side of the world and be able to provide for myself. And you know, for so many reasons I want it to work out, because I feel like it's the next step in my life. Like, I've had it all calculated, like this is what I need to do right now. I need to gain all these skills and become a better person so that I can go back to my old life that wasn't working before, and then that'll start working. It will all come full circle. I'll have everything I need now that was missing so that I can take the next steps with my career as a filmmaker and a creative person and all of these things. But it's just not working out so simply like I thought it was. You have this whole plan in your mind, like I'll do this and this and then I can do that, and you have all these, I guess, like problems at every phase of your life. You have all these problems, so you imagine a future where those problems don't exist and you try to move towards that always. But what ends up happening is you find new problems and then you're like, okay, now this isn't working. You find new problems, and life seems to be, for me, like a constant cycle of just new problems, like more and more problems, more and more struggles, and trying to chop and change things in my life, but it not really leading to that like different life that I'm looking for, like that dream life. It doesn't seem to exist. Like every phase of life comes with its problems, and I'm finding it very difficult to just embrace where I am and to just like enjoy what I have right here, right now, because I'm constantly looking at ways that I'm like, my life isn't where I want it to be. I'm constantly on such a psychological level, like analyzing and picking out all the reasons why I don't feel complete and I don't feel enough. And I think it comes from a real deeper yearning that I don't feel like I'm enough, and I've never felt that I'm enough. And because of that, I'll pick holes in the people I spend time with. I'll pick holes in the jobs that I'm doing. I'll pick holes in the social life that I have. It's always not enough. And it's weird because I look back on past times, which were actually not great past times at that time, and I'll be like, oh, I wish I was more like I was back then, or I wish things were more like they used to be. But it's just this like fake nostalgia, because I feel like right now I'm not so happy with myself. But I always feel that way. I always feel like I'm not enough in some ways. And I obviously have phases in life, like we all do, where I am enough, and things are good for a couple of weeks and whatnot. And maybe that helps with the nostalgia feeling, where it's around those periods of time I really look back to, like, oh yeah, I was really happy. But at the same time, maybe that was just a 2-3 week phase of things going well, so not really overthinking things as much. And I've definitely had times like that, but it doesn't necessarily define that was a better time for me. There was still problems in that phase of my life, maybe not for a few weeks or a couple months, but generally for like that 3 to 6 month period of time, there was always some problems. Maybe there's a couple times I can think of where there wasn't many problems, at all. But that's rare, and constantly comparing myself to how I used to be in the past seems to be a bit of a theme for me, and I don't think it's a very good thing to do. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna figure things out in this current phase of my life. I'm struggling financially. I'm not really happy. My habits are in disarray. Sleeping really late, waking up really late, or, you know, I'm not in like the best shape mentally, physically, spiritually. But I still kind of want to be out here where I am, traveling and, well, living in Bali with my family, with my sister and her boyfriend, and I feel like there's a lot of lessons here for me. But maybe I want it too bad, you know? Every day I kind of feel like giving up, and part of me is like, no, hustle against it, you know, this is how champions are made. But the other part of me is like, maybe that's telling me something, like maybe I'm trying so hard to get something out of this phase of life that if I just actually stopped and saw it for what it was, then maybe it wouldn't be so negative, and maybe I'd even have a better shot at, you know, some of the financial stuff. I've got a bunch of dogs over here that are getting away. Hey guys! Shadow! Robin! I have no control over them. They're half street dog, half pet. Shadow! Come on. I got one. It's progress. Shadow. Dusk. That's two. Dusk. Where's the little one? Here's the little one. Robin! Come on. Let's go. Good girl. Okay. Yeah, I'm just making this video because I make a lot of videos talking about, you know, different advices I have and different things. But I wrote this poem the other day. I'll just put it up on the screen here. And I think it has a lot of meaning and a lot of depth, because I really resonate with this idea of constantly having different problems and always trying to change those problems and manage those problems. But really, I guess if you accept those problems and you're not necessarily like so desperate to change them, you just embrace them. Like the poem says, don't assign your problems to yourself so personally. I think that's such a key point, because you're gonna have problems, right? And you want to change your problems, you want to make your problems better. We're all solutions-oriented humans. But if you attach them to yourself in such a personal way, where you're like, you know, this problem defines me, this problem means that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I don't deserve to be happy, or this problem just makes me like a lesser being, or, you know, just like really like nasty ways and like bad ways of treating yourself, of like basically psychologically torturing yourself, putting yourself on this psychological treadmill where you're looking at the things in your life and you're saying, because I have these problems, there's something bad about me, and there's something awful or lesser about me. And I think if you do that too much, then Dusk! Robin, come on! Robin! Come on! Robin! Can't control these dogs. Yeah. If you keep doing that to yourself, then you put yourself in a really unhealthy place, mentally, physically and spiritually. And this last week or so, I've had a lot of problems financial crises, things that happen to every single person, not things to make such a big complaint about. But the problems are really starting. Guys, come on! The problems are really starting to define me. And I was really sick the last few days, and I think a big part of it was because I'm putting so much stress on myself, because I'm really desperately trying to change my life and to fix it and to make enough money to be able to stay in this place, which seems like a very normal thing. Like, everyone's got to make money to pay their rent and pay their bills. But I think if you don't look after yourself and you just focus on targets and doing the things that you think you need to change the things about your life that aren't good right now, can have real negative effects. And yeah, like, I've been really sick the last few days. I think it's all built up in the physical. It's gone from just mental, psychological issues into actual physical issues, and health, as we all know, is more important than anything. So I think I really need to take these thoughts and apply them to my own life. And I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but I think it's really important to be kind to yourself and not to be so negative, not to be looking at your problems so personally. Just do what you can, try to fix them, but also realize that the way that life flows is not just like, you can't just force yourself to do things and try to get the result and put yourself through hell mentally, because all you're focused on is fixing your problems all the time. And then you start to over prioritize your problems, where you think you're always having to change it. And I think then the patterns start to repeat, and you start to get into new phases of life which honestly aren't so bad, and you don't take time to smell the coffee. You don't wake up and smell the coffee. You just move straight ahead with, oh, there's something I don't like about this, I need to fix it. And you become this fixer. And when you become this fixer, it's very difficult to just enjoy some of the small things in life, and to make the most of where you are and have a healthy, positive mindset. Isn't that right, guys? Isn't that right? Isn't that right, gang? Who are you? Isn't that right, gang? See, they agree. Hey, puppies. Anyway, signing out. That video is probably a bit of a mess, but peace out.